Can a budget optic really get you into the long-range game? Let's find out. What's up guys, Joe here with Scruffy Arms. Hey, if you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, really helps our channel grow. Alright, so being a gun tuber, every once in a while companies will reach out and ask to review some of their products. Now I'm not that big of a channel yet, but I still do have some companies reach out. And a lot of them are the affordable, cheaper options when it comes to firearms. So this happened a couple weeks ago. A company by the name of CVLIFE reached out to me to see if I would be interested in reviewing any of their products. And I went back and forth with their marketing team to find if there was anything that viewers of this channel would actually like to see. And we settled on an optic. And at first it was a 3-18. They didn't have those in stock, so they offered to send me a 4-16 first focal plane illuminated reticle optic. And that is this one that I've got here on my dad's Ruger American Gen 2. So this is the CVLIFE Bearform 4-16 optic. It is first focal plane. It has exposed turrets. Interesting enough, it does have a zero stop. So it does have a zero stop. And it has a locking turret on the side, but not a locking turret on the top. So locking turret side, not locking turret top. It does have parallax adjustment, and it does also have illumination. The illumination for this is just a dot that is in there. Now I'll insert some range footage here as we talk about this. So I went to the range to zero this, and a couple things. Some things to be aware of when it comes to a budget optic. Budget optics, you really need to make sure that as you do adjustments, that it's actually the adjustments you're looking for. If it says 1 click equals a quarter MOA, you really hope that that 1 click is a quarter MOA, so that as you're clicking your adjustments in, they actually get what they need to be. And I will tell you that this optic did that. Okay, so I was able to, I use a 1-inch grid system. I was able to use that to make the adjustments for my optic. It was off just a little bit, and that could be anything from it was super windy that day, my hold, trigger pull, any of those things. A lot of things can go into that, but overall I found it very easy to zero this optic, and then that zero didn't change as I started shooting. So I shot 20 rounds after this was zeroed, and the zero didn't change. Now I'm using a 223, so this is the Ruger American Gen 2 and 223, and I did a video where I was sighting this in, and a couple things is there's no recoil on this rifle. There's absolutely no recoil whatsoever on this 223. So I can't tell you if a heavier Magnum or heavier recoiling rifle would do anything to upset the zero, but the zero held just fine on this optic. Now, this optic retails for $250. When I looked, CVLIFE has an Amazon store, and their Amazon store has this on sale right now for $200. So a $200 optic makes you kind of raise your eyebrows when you start thinking about the first focal plane optics. Most first focal plane optics, to get into that realm and have a good quality one, a minimum entry level is usually considered around that $400-500 mark. Usually. There are plenty of sales going on. There's plenty of companies that are trying to get into this, that are making budget friendly long distance shooting optics, and this is one of those. And so as I started to look at this and think about what would be a good option for this type of optic, You know what? This Ruger American in 223, I think this is a perfect fit. This magnification on here will help my dad. My dad is turning 70 years old. His eyesight is not what it used to be. He needs a little bit more magnification. So having this 4:16 option is really good. Having the illumination is another plus. I very much enjoy having illumination on my hunting optics because early morning low light conditions, late afternoon low light conditions, having that illuminated reticle really does help when you're trying to get your crosshairs on an animal, especially when it's this dark brown animal. This makes it a little bit easier. A couple other things with this optic that I think are appealing is the price point. If you are on a budget, you may not want to spend more on the optic than you did on the rifle, especially if you're not a long distance shooter all the time. You're not taking these long pop shots at animals when you're hunting. This type of optic will get you into the longer range shooting. This does have a Christmas tree reticle in it, which is nice for your holdovers and is really, really good for any quick shooting. Another option that this would be good for is probably an NRL 22 rig. I think this would be great on my 22 for any competition purposes because it has a Christmas tree reticle. It's got the right type of magnification. The parallax adjustment on this goes from 10 to infinity. So I think on a 22 that you're using for an NRL 22 competition, I think this would be a really, really good entry level, and it can get you under the cost for those. So some of those have a cost associated with them, and for NRL Hunter as well, there's a cost associated that you have to stay under. I think this could be a really good option for that, especially if you're going to do the factory class and you're not trying to spend a ton of money. This could be a really good option for that. Now, I'm primarily a hunter, and when I look at this as a hunting optic, a couple things that appeal to me with this is that it's got the illuminated reticle. It does have the throw lever so you can quickly adjust. And by having the Christmas tree reticle, you can really do your holdovers without having to dial turrets. I do like the availability. If you have to dial turrets, you can, and it has a zero stop. In a competition, that zero stop is really important because you're constantly turning and adjusting your elevation for distances. But in a hunting application, having a zero stop is great if you need to adjust your turrets for a longer distance shot and you're done with that and you forget to go back down to your zero because you're so excited you just took this long shot. Having that zero stop allows you to go back to your zero and not have to worry about it. So I'll put in a couple shots of at the range with me shooting this optic. And I did another shot where I tried to angle the camera to look through so you can see how clear it is. That target was at 25 yards with the 4 magnification, so you guys can see what that looks like. Then a couple just of me shooting it. Now, in the box, this did come with rings. These rings feel like aluminum. They are medium height rings, which work actually really well with this Ruger American with the elevated cheek piece. So medium height rings, we did put the shade on it because it was really sunny when I was out shooting. And that may stay on as we approach this spring and summertime. That may come off as we get closer to hunting season. But overall, guys, color me impressed. I'm actually pretty impressed with this, but let's go ahead and look at the footage and then we'll come back and wrap it up. Okay, there we go. Forgive the sideways, guys. It's just the angle I have to get around the elevated comb here on the Ruger Gen 2s. Alright, you're just a little low. Go. All right, so as you can see, it has good height on it. It's easy to adjust. The clarity on the glass is actually pretty good. So a while ago, I did a review of other budget long-range optics, and I have used those. Currently, I don't have any budget optics on my rifles, and the reason for that is those allowed me to get into the longer range shooting and precision shooting, and as I could upgrade, I did. I think this CVLIFE Bearform 4-16 would give you that opportunity to get into the precision and long range shooting. And then as you could save up some money to upgrade it, this allows you to do that without having to wait. I think nothing is more frustrating than you get a firearm that is perfectly capable of doing those things, but the thing holding you back is the optic. And you think you need to buy the super expensive one at first when you can get a budget option like this to get you started and then upgrade later. I do think that this is a fantastic entry level. I think this is great for 22s, AR platforms. I don't know how it is with recoil sensitivity, but on the 223 it did perfectly fine. So any of your 22 calibers in that 224 range, I would say probably in your 6mm, your 6.5s, and even most of your 30 cals, I think could handle this with no problem. But guys, CVLIFE Bearform 4-16. So my initial impressions of this is a good entry level long range optic that you could put on any of your budget rifles and not feel like you got taken to the cleaners on the price, but absolutely affordable and all that you need to get into the long range and precision shooting game. So guys, I'll put the link to the Amazon shop with this. Now, they did send this to me to do the review, but being completely honest with you guys, this is a good entry-level optic. That is why it's on my dad's rifle. My dad has not done any long-range precision shooting. For myself, I have different optics that are on mine that will review those as needed. But as someone is learning to dial turrets and do parallax and being able to zoom in and zoom out and having that throw lever, I think this is a really, really great option. And it's not going to break the bank. So I don't get any kickback on this. I get nothing if you buy one of these from their Amazon shop. Just an upfront and honest review, guys, that I think this is a really good option if you have a kiddo getting into hunting, if you're buying a budget rifle, if you're hunting on a budget yourself. This is a great, great option to get you into that long-range shooting world. So, guys, again, I hope you like what you're seeing on the video. If you have any questions about this CVLIFE, about hooking it up, mounting it, adjusting it at the range, please don't hesitate to ask. We'll do another video after my dad has a chance to shoot with this and see what he thinks of the optic on here. I just had it out to the range yesterday, so he hasn't had a chance. We're going to go out here the next couple days and get him behind it, and I'll kind of give you his take on this as well. So I hope you're all doing wonderful today. If you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask down in the comments. Let's have a conversation down below. And as I always say, guys, stay blessed.